what's going on, Dunces family? This is day 2 of our 30-day challenge of speaking on all 30 NBA teams. And I am here today with Isandro. What's good, my boy?
Oh, hey, what's up, man? Didn't see you there. How you guys doing?
You guys? Who?
You guys, the people watching.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Shout out comment section. Please comment on our videos. Please.
It really
Anyway,
helps the algorithm. Or just please watch our videos.
for real, at least watch more than 5 seconds. I see it on our statistics, but it's okay. We're fine. We do it for fun.
Hour-long videos. We're not freaking Bleacher Report, man.
That's why we do 15-minute videos now with this series. So 30 days and 30 teams. It is going to be a little tough, but I think we'll be able to do it. So we got today the Denver Nuggets that we wanted to talk about. You specifically wanted to talk about it. So I'm just going to give you a little rundown on what their offseason looked like. And then I'm going to ask you how you grade their offseason, and then we're going to just talk about it. All right. So the Denver Nuggets were able to re-sign Will Barton, team-friendly contract. I don't really know how I feel about that, but we'll talk about that. Jermichael Green was also able to re-sign in Austin Rivers. They signed Uncle Jeff Green, my boy, who I did not want to see the Brooklyn Nets let go, but he got a better contract with them, so shout out him. They did lose JaVale McGee, but they still have Bol Bol, who hasn't really played a lot of minutes for them so far into his career with Denver. So, with all this being said, what do you think? What do you think about their offseason? Do you like the pickups? Do you like the moves that they made? What's your take on the Denver Nuggets offseason so far?
Yeah, no. I really think that was a good offseason. I'd give it maybe a B plus or an A minus, depending on things shake out. Only reason it's not an A minus for me is because ultimately it's not going to matter because Jamal Murray isn't there for a good portion of the year, so it's like we're going to see Jokic go off for another MVP caliber season, and then that's it. But right now I'm like having questions, right? Like, how good is Bol going to be on defense? Because their center right now, he's amazing. Jokic is great, but he's really not the best when it comes to defense.
Yeah.
So JaVale, say what you want about his limitations offensively, he was still solid. He was still a good rim protector, right? So yeah. Bol, I feel like he's more of a stretch 5, to be honest. What do you think? How well do you think he's going to mesh?
My only thing with that is that JaVale didn't really play in the playoffs. Like, if you remember, like, he didn't really get that many minutes. Now they actually have, they've had Bol there, sitting there, learning alongside Jokic. And we all know in the playoffs, defense, they collapse you, and the offense, it struggles somewhat, right? Like, players aren't shooting that efficiently. It's just something that happens. But I think that Bol will be a solid backup center, giving you 10 minutes, for the playoffs, or maybe even more, depending on how he does do defensively. Because, yeah, he is skinny, but he's tall. All he has to do is put his hands up. But, of course, if you got a player like Joel Embiid, if they go to the finals, I'm not saying that they will, but if they do, then, there we'd see a battle of the bigs, and obviously Joel Embiid would take over. But if you're going up against a team, I don't know, like Utah, for example, or LA, maybe LA would expose him with Anthony Davis, but other than that, I can see Bol doing solid with that. And, losing JaVale isn't really that big of a deal, in my opinion. So,
how do you think the Greens are going to do?
Jermichael and Jeff,
yeah.
Jermichael probably won't even get that many minutes. I didn't really see him get that many minutes last year in the postseason either. He did do pretty well, but I trust in Jeff Green. His corner 3 is wet. Like, the man is, and he's going to thrive playing alongside a player that looks for that corner 3, that looks for you, really.
His offense is going to be is going to come so easy to him because it's just going to be created.
Exactly, and last year his offense came pretty easy too, right? Everybody was so honed in on Kyrie, on KD, and Harden when he played. So Jeff Green was getting wide open. Joe Harris is the same way. That's why he fit that team so well. And he's not bad defensively. He's a big body, 6'8", 260, I believe. He's a solid NBA player who, he's older. He's a veteran. So what he wants to do right now is win. And I think, Denver is definitely top 3 this upcoming season. With or without Jamal Murray, I think that they are top 3. Yeah, because who else is there? You got Utah, LA. Clippers aren't going to be as good with only Paul George throughout the season. Dallas, I don't know. It all depends on Kristaps. Phoenix is going to be pretty solid. I'd say top 4, top 3, maybe. Like, those would be the 2 teams fighting for that 3rd seed. You know what I mean? Like, I think Denver is.
Okay, but also the Warriors are going to be a top 4 threat as well. I don't think they're going to be contenders exactly, but definitely top 4 threat.
I can see them. It's
going to be tough for Denver to match up.
I don't know. I think Denver has a better team than. Well, I don't know. Because Klay Thompson is coming back.
Jamal Murray?
Klay Thompson is coming back. He's not going to be the same. He's
Maybe
not gonna,
with Jamal because the thing is the deficiencies with Klay Thompson, it's going to be defensively because we saw that with KD. He was amazing offensively this season, but if you notice, people were so hyped in the offense. He really wasn't as good defensively as he was
yeah,
pre-injury. So it's
yeah,
going to be the same thing with Klay, who was like, other than him being such a great shooter, his other calling card was just his amazing defense. He would guard the other
yeah,
team's best perimeter player, and now like that really did help the backcourt because Steph and Klay, they were amazing offensively, but Steph, he really wasn't that great
yeah.
defensively, and Klay really made up he really made up for that. But now it's going to be like they just, take a little dip.
Yeah, and
So
I
we'll see
think
how that
now,
turns out.
and in Denver's case, though, I still think, having the MVP in Jokic, right? Like, automatically, you were already going to think, okay, this team is really great. But now having Michael Porter Jr., another season under his belt, who didn't really do that bad in the playoffs, as people were saying. I don't think he did that bad. It
Did
was
he
just,
do bad? He
he
did
did,
worse, but not
he,
bad.
yeah, like, I think he did solid, and he's still young. He's still going to be able to grow. And then the whole team, the team plays for each other, right? If you've seen them play, not one guy is like ball dominant. Like I know Jokic gets his assists, but he doesn't really dominate the ball. He finds his teammates. The ball movement is not as good as Utah. It's not as good as the San Antonio days with Ginobili and those guys. But Denver's ball movement is there, and I think that re-signing these guys who already know the offense, who have made it to that postseason run, they did lose to Phoenix, which obviously heartbreaker. But if Jamal Murray was there, they wouldn't have lost, right? Like I think we can all agree about that. So I think Denver. I
Mm-hmm.
give them an A minus. I wouldn't say that the Will Barton signing is the best signing, only because he has been injury prone throughout the
So
playoffs,
injury
and not
prone.
just
He was
last
injured
year.
for that first series too.
Yeah, and not just last year, but the year before that and the year before that. Like he always finds a way to get hurt in the playoffs, and I don't know. I think that they could have used that money to finally negotiate a contract for Michael Porter Jr. Because he's going to ask for a lot of money very soon. So I think the Will Barton signing was solid, but nothing too special. But what
Yeah, I
what do
think
you
the
think
whole
they're
ball
doing?
movement thing that you saying before, I think that's really important too because I remember thinking like, why is Jamal Murray only averaging like 20 points when he just went off this last postseason?
Yeah,
But then now you're telling me this, and I saw it. I'm like, okay, this team isn't just predicated on two guys dominating the ball because we've seen that unless those two guys are like Kobe and Shaq or like LeBron and D Wade, you need a good overall team. You need good ball movement in order to really make that work. So
yeah,
I really like that point that you made about the ball movement.
and the camaraderie. Like I said, like they know how each other play. Like everybody knows how where to find their spots. And Mike Malone, he's such an underrated head coach. I think he really brings out the best of his players. I mean, Monte Morris is such a great backup point guard, and now he's going to be asked for a little bit more, with Jamal Murray being out. And again, it's the regular season. So it's not like they're going to be too worried about the regular season. I mean, Jokic, yeah, he's happy that he got the MVP, but I'm sure that he's unhappy with how his playoffs ended, right? So I think that they have a chip on their shoulder, and I could see them as a top 4, top 3 seed in this upcoming season. So I'm excited to see what Denver has to say. Even though I always talk crap about Denver, but I'm pretty excited to see what they got going on. But yeah, what else do you want to say about them? Because if not, then I think this is done. Because Denver did a solid off season, and I think they got so much more to grow. And they drafted some, know what, but when I like, it doesn't really matter because Bol is still in my head. He's still technically a rookie because he never actually got real playing time. So now he's going to have the opportunity, and I'm excited to see what he has to do. And hopefully he proves all the haters wrong because people are like, yeah, Bol is just Manute Bol's son and nothing else. Like he won't do much, but I think he'll be solid.
Yeah, I
So
think they did what they had to do with these acquisitions, which it means so much because you see around the league, there's teams that can't even do the bare minimum, which we're going to talk about in further series. And it's just so cool to see that, sometimes you'll see a superstar or like two superstars or a superstar and an all-star, and their teams their front offices are not good and they can't put talent around them. But we see that Denver is consistently trying to do that with
yeah.
Jokic and with Murray. It's really
And
cool to
yeah,
see
they bring in
where they
players that fit.
their teams.
Yeah, they bring in players that fit, and they bring in players that are smart. Smart players, and that's all they need. And like I said, I'm excited to see what they
That's
got going for them. So we'll see how that
I'm
goes. But
excited.
we are done with this video. So thank you guys for joining. Like I said, these are just going to be 10-minute videos to 15 minutes, sometimes even shorter, like today. and we're just gonna talk about how we feel about these offseason teams. So thank you guys, Isandro. Thank you, my boy. And please like, subscribe, hit that like button, and peace out.